Hello everybody, this is Glenda with Fralins and Friends Crafts Plus. And today we're going back to the story of Moses. Last time, if you remember, they were killing the babies or the young boys of the Hebrews because this new Pharaoh didn't know about the history of the friendship with, the guarded friendship with the Hebrews. And so he turned them into slaves. Now, if you remember, Moses was adopted by Pharaoh's daughter. And Miriam, the sister, had watched him as he floated the Nile to the Pharaoh's daughter. So Miriam kept a track on him. Miriam was his sister. And so she offered to bring a nurse that could take care of Moses and help her with his needs, including feeding, because she went and got his mother. So to me, it's kind of important, not only that she brought his mother to care for him, but that as he was being treated as a prince of Egypt and being treated as a equal in a way, it never left the Pharaoh's mind that he is a Hebrew. And of course, with Miriam's mother, with his mother being his nurse and taking care of him, at least through his younger years, I'm sure she taught him the ways of the Hebrew people. And so he was very aware, Moses was very aware that he was not an Egyptian, only by adoption. And he had this sympathy for his own people. He didn't like that they were made to be slaves. But one day, he went out. And, okay, first I'm going to explain what I'm doing here with the painting. I have drawn kind of a step pyramid there. And I'll add that step look here pretty soon, because right now it just looks like, I don't know what. There I go. Excuse me. Dividing off of the steps. So that'll look a little more like a step pyramid. Now, I don't know when exactly they were doing that, but even if it turned out to be a regular pyramid, I think they started out as step pyramids and then they gradually took the stones up. That's just one theory. But, however, the man with the pickaxe in front of the pyramid, he's Hebrew. He's one of the Hebrew slaves. And I am color coding these garments that they're wearing so that we can know who is who. Who's Hebrew, who's Egyptian, and so forth. So this is a Hebrew man, a Hebrew slave. And there were guards watching over them all the time. And if they didn't move fast enough, they got whipped. If they took a little break for a drink of water, they could get whipped. And so I'll wait until the person behind this Hebrew man is doing what he's doing. Kind of would have been nice if I'd have done this step pyramid painting beforehand, but at least it does allow it to look more like steps and not just a big brown blob. Okay. So therefore, I've painted the Hebrews' clothing in plain brown. I'm not putting detail in the faces. You can see the little places that I've painted that are the faces, but they're so small. I did not give them. I didn't put detail in the faces. So this is the Hebrew, or not the Hebrew. This is the Egyptian guard or slave master who is making these who is overlooking the Hebrew slaves. And what I'm putting in his hand right now is very telling. It is a cat of nine tails. He was whipping, and there's the blood drops. He was whipping that Hebrew man. Why, I don't know, but he was whipping him. And he was whipping him badly. So I doubt if he was actually standing there still, well, depending on how far into the whipping he was. But Moses saw this. And like I said, he remembers. He knows that he's Hebrew. And his mother has taught him, I'm sure, very well who he is and what it means to be one of God's own. And not that everybody wasn't created by God, but not everybody went by his, by God's law. And the Israelites were the ones chosen by God. If you'll remember, this goes all the way back to Abraham. Now, the guy in the purple, that's Moses, and what he's holding is a sword. And he slays the Egyptian slave master because he is because he's torturing the Hebrew slave so badly. And Moses just did what he thought he had to do. He didn't think anybody saw him do it. He really didn't think anybody saw him whipping or saw him kill this man. Well, you see this little guy down here in the corner. He saw. And he's Egyptian. You can tell that by the color coding I gave him with the red robes. So what he does is he goes back and he reports what he saw. And because of it, the Pharaoh took a distinct disliking to Moses and put a bounty of sorts, I guess you could say, on him. His plan was to kill Moses. So Moses ran. Moses had to get away. And we know that partially because God was going to preserve Moses no matter what. That's why what happened with when they were out to kill the baby boys of the Jewish people, because they didn't want them multiplying anymore. The current Pharaoh, was afraid that the Hebrews might have an uprising. That's why he turned them into slaves. He wanted to break their spirit. And why he said, and the fact that they were populating so well is why he first sent the midwives to kill them, to kill the babies. That was in the first time he did, and Moses wasn't born yet. And the Hebrew midwives reported that they couldn't kill the babies as they were being born because the Hebrew women were just too robust and they'd had the baby by the time they got there. So now he has sent his men out. Well, when Moses was a baby, he sent his men out to kill him. And that's why Miriam put Moses in a basket that would float on the Nile. Now, I don't know if she was hoping that the princess would save him, or if she was hoping that he would be able to land somewhere where she could hide him. I don't know. I think she was hoping the princess would see him and adopt him. I don't think she had any way of knowing that. So I do want to tell you a little bit about the painting now. I've been kind of telling about that. The sky, I hope I made it lighter this time. We tend to, it's kind of a natural thing that we do when we paint a scene, is to make the sky blue. Unless we're painting a storm. But actually, when you look outside, yes, you can look up and the sky will be maybe a pale blue or whatever. But when you just look out around you, what you see is just clear air. There's, you see your trees, you see everything out there. So the sky isn't falling, so to speak. But yes, we do generally paint the sky a blue color to distinguish it from the land and for placement of people. So that's what I tried to get it a fairly light blue. I could have made it a little lighter on the way down just to distinguish that a little. I kind of cut off their legs when I was painting this. I was painting the sand, and here I am trying to find some way to get some texture in that sand. And I'm hoping that I can get it with the toothbrush, at least put some texture in it. Even if you can't see it, I'll know it's there. So, but I do go back and I do fix their clothes, as you can see right there, so they don't look like squat little things that are trying to work. So, but this story, it's run together like this because, well, it kind of happened like this. Moses saw the slave guard, or what do they call it? And he saw him whipping. He didn't like that his people were made into... He didn't like that his people were made into slaves anyway. But he went out and looked around and checked, and here's this slaver. He's practically killing this man just to get him to work harder, faster, I don't know. So Moses kills him, and there's a spy. So Moses has had to leave Egypt. Egypt is a very important part of the biblical stories. So they went there to survive when it was just the brothers, their wives, their kids, and Jacob, or Israel. So it's been a long time now, and they have thrived in Egypt. I hope that you have enjoyed this part of Moses' story. There's a lot more to go. I'll probably be doing more paintings over the next few days. And I really did enjoy this one. I thought this one came out much cleaner. But please do come back. And if you like what you see, please subscribe. Click that notification bell. Give me a like, a thumbs up there, and subscribe. I don't know if I forgot anything or not. But mostly, I love you, and we'll see you next time. God bless. Smile and wave.